Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be starting the process of unwrapping this all-net PRas multi-cabinet. This was designed to be used with the PRas 3, the current multi-system for SEGA. I will be doing a couple different parts on opening and unwrapping this cabinet, as we don't have PRas running. There's no way that we're going to be able to run that, but these cabinets are very versatile, and I'm told that you can do a lot with them. The I/O boards in them can do both the USBIO that they're using now and JVS for older stuff. So probably over the course of the next couple weeks, I'm going to be recording parts to this video to demonstrate it running some various different hardwares. I'm going to try down to even stuff like Naomi, Lindbergh, and then maybe up to like Ring Edge 2 and as well as some other newer hardware, just to kind of show off what we can do with it. Now I'm not going to do, I think, too long of a look through the cabinet itself. I'm just going to unwrap the sides here. I'm going to leave that on because I have to move this to the house in a week or two from the recording of this part of the video. So I'm just going to unwrap it enough so that we can kind of look over it. We'll get another look at it in a later part of the video. But I'm going to open up to the back so you can see this. Now we've already opened the Chrono Regalia cabinets before, so there's not really going to be much different compared to that. I think just the LEDs and the marquee and other things. I don't think those are all going to function anyway with what we have right now. I'm going to cut the wrap off the front. I'm going to show everybody here the interior and whatnot, and we'll go from there. Okay, I'm going to open this up. There's nothing in there. I'll open up the back, grab the camera, and then take a look around inside the cab. All right, here, let me grab this here. So we've got the marquee art up here. It's pretty solid. Like if you look at it, it's not just a plexi. There's quite a bit of hardware in the back for this mount that is unique to this cabinet, or rather to this version of what goes into the cabinet. It's just pretty solid. It's a nice solid piece there. We've got here this one. The one that I chose to keep was the one with the Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle art. The other two that we got had Dead or Alive 6 and Guilty Gear XRD as the art for them. So here we've got the screen, same as Chrono Regalia. It's a 10-point touch, very fancy, very nice. I like it. I believe, I don't remember, I think I played at least a little bit of this when I was in Japan. It actually, the menus also use the touch screen. It's all, I mean, it's nothing new technology, but in terms of arcade, it's pretty new to have stuff like that. So here we've got actually a slot here that you can plug in a USB gamepad. I never tried that when I was in Japan. I didn't have one on me, but that's pretty neat. I'm assuming you could probably charge off of this as well while you're playing, but I don't know if it just uses like a console gamepad, or you can use any USB gamepad, how that works. Don't know anything about it. It'll be cool to try out, but it's probably going to be years before we can actually get the actual hardware for this, or get it, much less running at all. We've got our Imei Reader here, and I don't remember what this, I don't know if it'll focus on it, but there's up here, there's a window here, and the Chrono Regalia has it too. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be for scanning something in particular or what, but I think there's, yeah, I don't really know. Anyway, there's that. Let's look at the inside. Of course, it's empty. This looks no different than Chrono Regalia, but I'm kind of curious to see here. So yes, it does actually say all-net PRas multi. I don't know if that label gets replaced when these cabinets get converted, because these were almost certainly converted from one of the other games that this cabinet came in, or this one might have been an original. We've got our manuals here, and inside it looks like some brackets. We've got some button hole covers there. Cable guard plug that's probably for going under the cab for if you run cables out of it. What else do we have in here? I think that's about it. Nothing really fancy in there. And then we've got our manuals. So that's cool. Let's flip this cab around real quick. And the back of this looks pretty much the same as the Chrono Regalia we looked at. I don't remember if Chrono Regalia had this router on there, but it's a nice little mount. It's actually got the switch behind it, and the router there. And I did notice that the Ethernet was run to the front, which I don't think the Chrono Regalias had it run to the front. And then here again is the JVS/USBIO. We'll be plugging in a JVS cable here, and from what I'm told, as long as there's nothing on the USBIO port, it will act as JVS. So we should be able to plug in a regular JVS board and it should work. I think that about sums up a little overview of the cabinet. I know we've done Chrono Regalia before, so none of this is super new. But when I come back, I'm not sure when I'm going to get to it. I'll be trying a couple different hardwares that we have and see how those work. So we'll see you in a couple days, couple weeks, don't know yet, but I'll continue the video when I get to it. Alright everyone, so I actually just went, this is the same day, and I set up a little bit of a test to take a look at just the first functional test of this PRas cab. So what I've got here, I'll come around the back and show you that first. Luckily, there is a VGA port on the monitor there, so I just hooked up a VGA cable. And over here, I had to unscrew the I/O board to get this JVS cable to plug in. So probably down the line, I'm going to find a lower profile USB cable so that I can screw this back in. I am going to want to run JVS games in here, and you'll see at the end of this whole series why I specifically want JVS working. So let's come down here. One other thing I'm going to point out is that, you know, there is the USB controller port, but there's also a charging port, and I didn't point it out in the last video. There's actually this USB hub here that has power on it. And I believe this would just go to the controller. Let's see where this goes. No, that's actually for the USBIO, I think, and that might go to it. I'm not sure. At any rate, there's that as well, so that's kind of where it's getting all that power. And then let's come around the front, and I'll point out that, and I think I pointed this out in the Chrono Regalia one too as well, but there's a USB charge port right there, and the headphone jacks. So that's that. What I've got for this test, I figured I'll start with the beginning, with probably the earliest hardware that I intend to run on here. Well, I don't know about intend. I'm not necessarily going to use it for this, but I've got my trusty Naomi test PCB here. Now, this does not have JVS power inside, so I am pulling the power from this NetCity. And I've got it all hooked up, the power there, and then I've got the JVS and VGA going into this cabinet. So I'm going to turn all this on and we'll see how everything works. I do not have audio hooked up. I don't have any the proper audio adapters to hook that up easily right now. So let me we'll switch the cab on. And there, got everything lit up. Come around the front, and we should have a monitor no signal, and I believe it's this cabinet will cycle between digital and analog constantly until it finds a signal. Yeah, so there it went to analog, no signal, and now it'll go back digital. Okay, so now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to turn on the NetCity that's providing power to the Naomi. Get the switch there. We've got that coming on. Let's see if it comes up. There we go. and we've got Naomi up on the screen. And that's 640, I don't know if you saw, that's 640 by 480. That's running at 31K. I make sure to have the switch flipped on the Naomi for that, because if it was 15K, it would probably not come up with anything on this monitor. But yeah, so that came up. That's a good sign. It has booted. That's also a good sign, meaning that the JVS is working. So if we hit here, start, yep, buttons are working. I can actually start the game. And it looks like, yeah, everything works, which is cool. So that is proof of concept right there for the Naomi. And really, this looks good. I mean, granted, it's a pretty new monitor compared to a lot of what people are used to in cabinets that would be used for like fighting cabinets. This is a really nice monitor. But there for the proof of concept that Naomi works on the PRas cab. And so yeah, I'll come back, I'll pull out some other hardwares and throw it in there. We can test them out, see how they look. And it's really, again, good to know, because these cabinets aren't going to be able to be used for PRas unless you're on an official network. So it's nice that we can get these cabinets, that they can be used for fighters and other joystick games, and just be able to get like a really nice, new, clean, you know, well-featured cabinet. Very exciting. So I'll be back, and I'm not sure what the next hardware will do. Maybe we'll throw a Type X2 in or something like that. Alright, so I actually have my next hardware installed. It's a TAITO Type X2, and I don't think oh, actually, while we're at it, I should point out that this marquee is actually backlit, so that's kind of cool. And it's got LEDs around, you can see around the side as well. Also, that the LEDs on the cabinet itself don't come on, I think, unless you actually have one of the proper games in it. So those LEDs are not on. Anyway, I've got a Type X2 in here, and I figured I would test it out with this. And I don't really need to do anything else, the Ring Edge 2 or anything like that. They're all going to end up being the same, I think. It doesn't matter which one I test. But you can see here, like, everything has filled out the screen pretty well. And you know, I just plugged everything in just the same as before, and it's good to go. So anyway, and you can see also buttons, inputs work, everything is just as good as before. So that is good. And I want to say it's actually using this. Yeah, that's actually mapped to button 4 instead of down here. These are actually not mapped, which is interesting. I noticed that with Naomi as well, but as you can see, just straight plugs in, no problem, works just fine. So I think I'm going to leave this portion of the video as it is for now, and I'll probably do a second video about PRas once the kit that I'm planning on putting in this permanently comes in. So please look forward to that. It's a bit of a surprise pickup for me, and it'll be really cool to run in here. Please look forward to it. We'll see you in that next video. Hey, so I forgot to do the last part of every cabinet opening that I need to do, and check the coin box and the coin count. So let's get that done real quick, and we'll call it a day. Open this up here. And our coin bucket yields no treasure, and our coin count is 1,558, which is to be expected with how new this cabinet is. That's pretty cool. It's a very low coin count cabinet. So yeah, that wraps it up. Look forward to our next video once we get the PCB that is destined for it. We'll see you then.